Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare. Krishna. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Gila Gurudev. Gaura Hare Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bhavan Hari Nama Sankirtan की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
Hare Krishna Prabhus. So it's my pleasure to introduce you all to His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu. So Prabhuji was joined the Chalpadi ashram in 1994. Yeah, and he was a intense spiritual seeker up to that point. He had studied many philosophies, traveled in all over India, and then he ended up in Bombay doing studies at IIT, where he came in contact with His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Maharaj. And upon meeting Maharaj, he was very attracted by his good qualities, and he started associating with Chaupadi devotees, and eventually took shelter of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Shortly after that, Radhanath Maharaj sent him to Pune under the order of Gopal Krishna Maharaj, where he has developed a very inspiring community with two main temples with many other temples around. And he's inspired thousands and thousands of youths all over India and the world. I was fortunate enough to go and spend some time in Pune just recently this year. And one of the qualities that has attracted me the most to His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu is his down-to-earth nature, but simultaneously has a very compassionate heart and a very good intellect by which he can tune into the minds of people and really address their mind while simultaneously captivate their heart. So it's my pleasure to have him visiting ISV, and without further ado, we'll now hear Prabhu speak. So all these boys here are part of Bhakti Sangha, which is a sangha which has recently been developed by Achutya Chaitanya Prabhu and the ISV Sankirtan Leadership Department. So all these boys have been connected through coming to the temple, and they all work at IT jobs here in Silicon Valley, and they're anywhere between 2 to 16 rounds, roughly speaking, and they have a great potential for practicing Krishna consciousness and giving Krishna consciousness to others.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuvannmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Welcome all of you. Srila Prabhupada was in 1968 in University of Berkeley. And Prabhupada was about to start a lecture on Bhagavad Gita. When one of the students got up and told Swamiji, what is the use of your coming and teaching Bhagavad Gita here? Science and technology has become so advanced. And we are taking leaps and bounds in science and technology. Who will hear your Bhagavad Gita? Like that he said. So Prabhupada told him, yes, you have become very advanced in science and technology. Therefore, you have come here as a beggar to beg for dollar notes. And Prabhupada said, I am not coming to America as a beggar, I am coming here as a giver. Prabhupada said, I have come to add value to the lives of the people of America and make their lives sublime. So you remain a beggar, I will be a giver, Prabhupada said. And Prabhupada observed, even the Indian boys who were here at that time in America, or those in India itself, they were actually at that point of time very materialistic and were only driven by money and position. Many of them actually joined the British government, you may be aware. Many of them joined British government and they gradually lost their culture. The, the boys who came here eventually even went to the point of eating even cow flesh. They became degraded over a period of time. So Prabhupada said India has failed in her duty to transmit the spiritual message to the rest of the world because every country has some unique selling point. If you take Switzerland, they make very good watches. If you take Germany, they are very good in machines. If you take Japan, they are very good in software technology. If you take Gulf, they are known for oil. Similarly, if you take India, India is known for what? Spirituality. Even today, you find in Haridwar, Rishikesh, in Varanasi, you find Rameshwaram also. Many foreign bodied men, women. See, these men, women have a lot of money in their land, like either London or in America. But why are they coming there? Because they are coming in search of truth and they want to learn something. Emerson and Henry David Thoreau, they studied Bhagavad Gita and they have very nicely philosophically explained it in English language. So you can see that the Western theologians also took interest in Eastern theology to study. They studied the Upanishads, they studied the Vedas, Puranas, everything. Even Einstein and Oppenheimer, they studied Gita also. Oppenheimer quoted the first time bomb was thrown. Oppenheimer quoted the verse Kalosmyaham Lokachayakrit Pravruto, the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So, which goes to show that all across the globe there has been a very widespread interest in learning the wisdom of the Vedas. But in the Indians who are supposed to transmit this knowledge, they eventually became materialistic and they forgot the message. So therefore Prabhupada was telling like that. One should be a giver and not a beggar. So when you come here to America, America gives you dollar notes. But you should in turn give the message of the Vedas. That is your duty. It's a give and take, right? Their purpose said, see, Western people are giving so much technology for us. For the whole world, they are giving facility. And whatever facility they provide, it's coming? Sound is coming? Whatever facility they provided, they fine-tuned it and made the technology so nice. So they are giving comfort and luxury and facility and amenities for the people. And many Indians are availing of it. Is it not true? In return, what are you giving? You have something very valuable we should give. That's what Prabhupada made that point. So now for us to give something, unless I have something in my pocket, how can I give? I first of all need it myself, right? So therefore, what we are supposed to give is the spiritual happiness to the whole world. But we need to know what is that spiritual happiness that we can ourselves experience and then we can share with others. So once upon a time, a queen went with her friends to take a bath in a pond. She removed her earrings and nose rings and a necklace and bangles and everything and kept it in the bank of the pond. And then she went to the waters and she and her friends were playing and splashing water in the pond and taking bath. But when she came back, she found one of the important jewelry missing. The necklace was missing. And a very costly one, something like 20 lakh rupees or something. So she wasn't worried about the money. After all, she's a queen. But she was very worried because it was a very dear necklace and her friend had gifted it to her on the marriage occasion. So she went to the king and said, I want that necklace back. King said, I can get you any similar necklace. She said, I don't want anything similar. I want that only I want. So the king made an announcement. Anybody who has taken the necklace, you return it. And if you are found guilty that you have stolen it, you will be beheaded, he said. And also he said, if anybody can get that necklace to us back, they will get 5 lakh rupees. Like that he made an announcement. So one poor man became very inclined because he thought, I can just get the necklace and give it to king and get that 5 lakh. So he was frantically searching everywhere. At last, he came to one place where it was what do you call it, frontiers of a village. It was the frontiers of the village. So there he found there was a lake or something, shady trees and everything. So there he found that necklace in the water, and he was very joyful. So he tried to put his hand to touch it, just like this kartal. You see it, kartal, you see it visibly. So when you put his hand and touch it, there will be nothing there. It would miss. Repeatedly he tried again and again. He came out of water again, went in. I was wondering from different angles he tried. He was not able to get it. Then he was lamenting, why am I not able to grab it in my hand? It appears to be like a mystical necklace. Then one sage was passing by. Sage told him that ever since morning to evening you are searching something. What happened? The man became afraid that if sage sees this, he will take it. Sage told him, don't worry, tell me what is the matter. The man said, you promise me that you will not ask for a share. Then I will show you, he said. So the sage agreed. Then he showed him, see this, don't you see the necklace of the queen? Sage saw that and said, yes. That I am trying to get, I am not able to, he said. Sage said, that's a very simple thing. Sage immediately climbed up the tree and got it from one of the branches and brought it down and gave it to him in the hand. It was as simple as that. Now the man found that the reflection of the necklace was coming on the water. In the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, there is an upside down tree explained. So if there is a mango tree in the bank of the river, the upside down tree will also have mango and you can visibly see it. But that's called happiness in view, but out of experience. It's like imagine you have a gulab jamun kept in a bottle which is closed. No matter how much you lick that bottle outside, you won't get the taste of the gulab jamun. Taste of the sweet, you cannot get it. So in the same manner, you find that in this world, happiness appears to be just at an arm's distance. But you won't be able to get it when you approach it. Of course, many people have tried. People try to get happiness in gold, happiness in dollar notes, happiness in women, happiness in increasing their property, happiness in a big posh car, happiness in big bungalows. Otherwise, why even rich people commit suicide? We have to ask the question. Even like IITians, you find 3 IITians died in 2019 committing suicide in Hyderabad, IIT Hyderabad. Similarly, here also, way back in, I think which was the year, recession year, 2002, is it? 2008, 2008. So that year, there was one Raja Raman from South India who did in UCLA, he did a degree. I think was chartered accountant, he was a billionaire. But then, when the market came crashing down, he didn't become a beggar, but he became middle class. Still, what do you guess what he did? His home was closed for more than a week. So people suspected and they informed the police. Police found out that he shot his wife and 2 daughters and 1 son and shot himself also. Such a horrible thing to hear about him. And he was a multi-billionaire actually. That means which billionaire will commit suicide and kill his wife and children if he is happy? Happy person will never commit suicide. He will be most happy. So money didn't bring him happiness. Or a big IIT degree didn't bring happiness to those boys, 2019, those who committed suicide. So Prabhupada challenged when he came to the West that you have tall towers, but people are... In Berkeley, there was one tower. I don't remember the name of that. There's one tower in the Berkeley University. Bell Tower, yeah. From there, the youths were jumping on, committing suicide. They put it, later on, they closed it. So that you cannot, of course, if you close the 100th floor, they will jump from 99th floor, they can jump. Isn't it always? So the point is, we have to see in this world how people are chasing after happiness and they're not able to get. Generally, a man chases after a woman for happiness, and then when he is not getting it, then they both think that if we get a child, the child will be happy. And then we'll get happiness from the child. Of course, child gives you happiness for some time. When child comes to a teenage, then the child will tell the parents, you do whatever you want, I'll do what I want. Then again, happiness is gone after that. Then they hope that maybe grandson will give happiness. Then they take grandson for a walk, then they are happy for a while, until grandson grows up. So you will see in this world, happiness is always elusive. It's always escaping. Happiness in view, but out of experience. That's because it's an upside down tree. If you really want, you have to lift up our heads. Like that sage saw this fellow, this man was always looking down at the water. Was he looking up or looking down? Down. But who looked up? Therefore, he found the necklace. That means people who are stupid in sense gratification, who look down always for the petty pleasures of the world, they will never be able to experience true happiness. But all of you are blessed souls that you have come in contact with devotees. So now you have actually got an opportunity to look up, look up at more sublime pleasures. In this world, in the Upanishads, it is said, the life begins in this world with Annamaya Kosh. Annamaya means you can see a newborn child. It will drink breast milk of the mother and go to sleep. Again, get up, drink milk and go to sleep. You've seen that? It doesn't do anything more than that. The only goal of life of the child is what? Eat and sleep. And similarly, some worms also you will see. They just move here and there, then they just eat and they sleep. They don't do anything. But when you come to pranamaya, the competition starts. Because sometimes the tiger sees that if I have to eat the deer doesn't come in his grip. Then he has to run and get the deer. Then comes the principle of, how jivo jivasya jivanam. That means one living being becomes a food for another. Small fish is eaten by bigger fish. Small snake is eaten by bigger snake. Like a fly, insect is eaten by a frog by a snake, snake by an eagle is shot by a man. So you will see that one becomes food for another. So that principle creates competition in this world. One competition for survival as well as competition for getting one's prey. That competition. Don't think it's only in the animal kingdom. Even in human kingdom, you will see which company swallowed Nokia company? Microsoft, yeah. Similarly, WhatsApp has been swallowed by Facebook, I think. Correct, yeah. That means big companies also swallow smaller companies also. Similarly, more intelligent boys will swallow less intelligent boys. Correct, no? Yeah. Last time in Seattle, one devotee was driving me from Microsoft. So while driving, he was telling me in Microsoft, the top 5% people are every year given increment in salary and given a promotion also. And the last 5% people are removed also. So nobody wants to be in the last 5%. There's a fear. So in order to survive, so we call it as a carrot and the stick. So carrot for the top 5% and stick for the bottom 5%. So there's always fear in this world, you can see that. So, but the point I was trying to say was jivo jivasya jivanam. This principle is there in this world where all the living beings are living under great threat. Of course, they are searching for happiness, but that happiness is obtained under great struggle, and it is not a long-lasting happiness either. Because they are annamaya. From annamaya to prana means pranamaya is a phase of competition. Who is big? You are big or I am big. Prabhupada says, I want to eat you, you want to eat me. That is a pranamaya. That kind of life. Then you come to manomaya stage. Manomaya means whatever you cannot get, you dream about it. That is manomaya. Like, some boys, want to get something in life, they can't. So they go and watch in the movies. Like your hero has 20 people dancing with him. You've seen that? And heroine has another 20 ladies dancing with her. Does it happen in real life? Maybe you have to pay somebody to do that, isn't it? So, but when this fellow goes to watch the movie, he puts himself on whose role? Hero's role. Then he's thinking, oh, I am such a hero, so many people dance with me, and then whatever he cannot do in real life, he does it in their dream life. That's manomaya. Then real life starts when you come to Vijnanamaya stage. You go beyond, the cutthroat competition. You go beyond the dream stage. You come to the stage where you ask, even after I have struggled hard, even after I have dreamt a lot, sometimes I find that there are many things which don't come in my grip. Despite so much hard work and so much, like you have dream job, dream house, dream car, dream girl, so many things you dream. But what stops me from being happy forever? Why is my life punctuated by sufferings? At that time, you will come to the Vijnanamaya stage. Vijnanamaya stage is a stage where you can, begin to understand, I am not the body. Who am I? I am spirit soul. From there, the real knowledge starts. It's reality actually. The reality starts from there. Till then, it's all material life. So you all have come to the point of understanding what is who you are. I am not the body, I am spirit soul. You understood that. You have got that knowledge now. So once that knowledge comes, it's a big relief for us. You see, two very fat ladies had come for His Holiness Jayadut Maharaj's program. So Maharaj spoke the same knowledge, Dehinosminita Dehi first. At the end, the ladies met Maharaj and said, Maharaj, thank you. Today, for the first time, in our life, we feel completely relieved of all our tension. They said, Maharaj asked, what knowledge did you like so much? They said, we came to know we are not the body, we are spirit soul. They said, we have such obesity, we are not able to reduce our fat. But we are confident now when we die, we will get another body, and we pray we get a slim body. You know? So, Maharaj was telling that in one lecture. So, in this way, you are not the body, you are spirit soul. So, fundamental knowledge. Once you know that, so many problems can be solved in this world. There have been problems between Germans and Jews, right? Whites and blacks, Indians and Pakistanis. All these problems are finished when you know you are not the body, you are spirit soul. So Vijnanamaya is a really enlightened stage. It's called Aham Brahmasmi stage. But Aham Brahmasmi is not enough. If somebody says, you go to engineering college and say, I am engineering student, I am engineering student, that's not enough. Go to the class, hear the teacher, study the books, give the exams, graduate and become a full-fledged engineer, right? Similarly, the fifth stage is the Anandamaya stage. For Ananda to be experienced, Ananda means happiness. For Ananda to be experienced, you need two people, not one. So the soul and super soul, Brahma and Parabrahma. That means the servant of God and God. When those two people come, then there's a loving exchange. So this Ananda is the fifth stage. If you read the Taittiriya Upanishad, it says, Brahma Pucham Patishta, it says that when this Ananda is experienced, the Lord's beautiful face and the Lord's beautiful dealings, the Lord's leelas, pastimes, manifest in the heart of the devotee. See, every religion talks about a respectful dealing with God. God as a master and we ourselves as his servant. And submitting to him, repenting for our sins, and begging him for forgiveness, and accepting us as one of his servants, and taking us back to his abode. This much is there all across the globe. But you will find most people in the world think about GOD, generator, operator, destroyer. They don't know. They generally think about God like that. They don't know beyond that. But the Bhagavata teaches that you can become an intimate family member of Lord, can become his friend. You can accept God as your son. So one boy was asking me, why do we accept God as a son? Can't I accept God as my father? Same question was asked to Prabhupada by one devotee. Prabhupada, is it wrong if you accept God as our father and ourselves as a son? Prabhupada said, if you accept like that, then you are an enjoyer role. And because then God has to provide everything for you and take care of you, if he is father. Correct, no? Like all of you are sons now. When you studied in the college, father would send you money, he will come and drop you in this thing, station or something like that. Then he has to pamper you, correct, no? Therefore, Prabhupada said most people like to accept God as father and themselves as servant. Because the reference point is themselves. Whereas Bhagavata teaches the reverse. God is a child and we become his father. By we becoming his father, we can express our, like for example, Yashoda can make butter for Krishna. Yashoda can stitch clothes for Krishna. Yashoda can make jewelry for Krishna. Yashoda can arrange cow's milk for Krishna, everything. And in this way, being his friend, being his parent, and becoming his lover, Prabhupada said, Krishna consciousness teaches you how to enter into the personal life of God. So that much, it's not very easy for a common man to access, but Bhagavata teaches it. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived that lifestyle and handed over, and Srila Prabhupada made it very easy through his books. So, coming to the point of our topic today, the topic given to me was somebody can tell me the topic? You can. How to be spiritual in a material surrounding? Something like that. You see that there was a poster I saw. How to grow spiritually in a materialistic society. Very good topic it is. How to grow spiritually in a materialistic society. So all of you are professionals. Now you're working in a company. I believe all of you are working, right? Any students also here? There are a few. There are 3 students here. Okay. So living in the midst of society, being in your profession or in your studentship, you can't isolate from society, but you can insulate yourself. That is possible. What is the difference between isolating and insulating? Who can say? Yes. Sri Mahaprabhu is a very senior devotee here. Yeah. Yes, Sri Mahaprabhu. We'll give him the mic.
Isolating would mean just going away from the surroundings totally, like Himalayas, like totally separating us, not surrounding. Insulating would mean staying in the middle of all of that and still not getting affected.
Yes, bro. So no, bro. Yeah, I remember one of your example. A small kid may be staying right in front of Stanford or MIT, but he doesn't mean anything for him. So he is not isolated, but for him it doesn't mean anything. He's insulated.
Yeah. He's aloof from it. Yeah. Is it sound is coming? Yes. Okay. Okay. See, you all know if you take milk and add water to that, what happens? It becomes diluted. Correct, no? And add more and more water. At one point of time, you can't even recognize its milk. It becomes so diluted. Similarly, you will find that in those days, Radha Gopinath Prabhu, when I joined the job in Pune, he told me that, he gave me a Krishna book and told me that, can you please pass on, because you're living in Pune now, can you pass on to one particular devotee, he told me. Then he told me that he had met him 3-4 years ago in the train and he brought him to Radha Gopinath temple. I said, yes, Prabhuji, I'll go and give. So in those days in Pune job, daytime I will wear pant and shirt, morning and evening I'll wear dhoti kurta, like that, white and white, So evening I wore my white and white dhoti kurta. I went to one house of the gentleman and I went and battered at the door. So the man opened the door and looking at me up and down with my tilak on the forehead, he had tears welling up in his eyes. He said, hi, and invited me inside and made me sit. And then he fondly started recollecting his days in Bombay. He said, one day, 3 years ago, I was going in Bombay in a train and Radha Gopinath Prabhu, I met him. And Prabhuji invited me to Radha Gopinath temple. And 3 days I stayed in the temple. And those days are the golden days of my life because every day I attended Mangalarti, the whole morning program. Then Brahmachari class also he attended. And he took prasad, 3 times prasad in the temple and met all the other brahmacharis and celibate devotees, everybody. And one of the days was a Sunday also. He got to see many thousands of congregation coming and everything. So it was he said, that is altogether different world, he said. It's like spiritual world. I was so thrilled. In the meantime, actually his parents made a phone call and told him, hey, we have an engagement program for you, marriage engagement. You went to Bombay for a day and now 3 days are over, what are you doing? Then he had to come back. And he came back and marriage engagement happened. He got married. Now settled in Pune. And Radha Gopinath Prabhu had given him a bunch of 6-7 books. So now when I went to his home, he put a stool and then he climbed on the top and from the bureau top he took off the books. I thought he was dusting the books. Because they were all in the top of the bureau. So he said, as it is, I have kept the books. I never got time to read. He said, but I had a very good experience in the temple. He said, now he had grown beard, mustache, everything. He said, when I was in the temple, I was clean shaved. I had a tilak, everything in the temple. He said at that time when he had gone there. So now he said, when I had gone to his house and he opened the door, there was a big full-blown TV going on there. He said, he called me Swamiji. I said, I'm not a Swamiji. I'm still a working man. I'm working in a profession, but I'm planning to join full time. I told them. Then then I sat and we did some Vaishnava songs. We sang together for a few minutes. So he was telling something interesting that, when I met Radha Gopinath Prabhu, I felt that, I should even dedicate my life fully for Krishna completely. I was so inspired by that personality. Such a wonderful, unassuming, advanced devotee. He said, but once I came to Pune and I started my responsibilities in family and business and everything, I altogether forgot it until you have come today with a Krishna book. Now, when I see you, I am reminded of all the devotees there, and my heart is like melting, softening now. I feel like, making it more seriously. So he said, now I am realizing what Srila Prabhupada said in his books. I am like a fish out of water. He said, now I have a lot of money. We come in a business class family. I have a lot of money. Everything else is there. But what is seriously missing is spirituality, he said. So later on, I also understood that in this day and age, without staying in the company of devotees, it's just almost next to impossibility for one to maintain character and lead a pure life. One boy asked me recently in a college program, if a girl comes and proposes to enjoy with me, if I enjoy with her, will I get sin? And he asked this question. So then I asked all the boys, how many of you say he will get sin? So few boys raised hand. How many of you say he will not get sin? Many raised hand for that. Then I asked them the reason. Why? So they all said that, see, he didn't do any sin. She pulled him into this relationship. So because she pulled him, who will get sin? She will get sin. Like that, that was their understanding. So then I told the boys that there's a story in one of the Puranas. There was one Kampilya Desh, near Koshala Desh, there's a Kampilya Desh. There one very effulgent, very tall, with long flowing hair, a beautiful Brahmana, is having a violin type of some instrument. He was playing that instrument and entering that village. Many women came out of their homes and saw his handsomeness and his sweet singing and playing of the instrument. So all these things put together, it charmed them, enchanted them. They started going behind him. Then all the husbands reported to the king that our wives are running behind another man. What are we supposed to do? They are not maintaining the household, and they are not staying with us. Then the king immediately told the ministers, arrest that Brahman, bring him here. Then the Brahman was brought in front of the king. All the ladies also came. So the ladies told the king that, my dear king, don't punish him because he is not the responsible person. It is we who became charmed by him, by his music and singing and everything. We have forgotten our household and we have become attracted by him, so we went behind him. So at that time, the Brahman told the king, give me an opportunity to speak also. And then he spoke up. He said, my dear mothers, he called them as mothers. He said, if a man has a woman who is elder to him, he should treat her like a mother. If a man has a woman younger than him, he should treat her like a daughter. Similarly, a woman sees a man older than her, she should treat him like a father. If she sees a man younger than her, she should treat him like a son. So, in this world, you will see, a woman may tell a man, oh, you are such a good person, you are like my brother, they will say. Or you are like my father, they will say. But no woman will say, you are such a nice person, you are like my husband. They will not say that. You agree? Because yeah, husband's position is very, very unique. You understand? Huh? Yeah. That position nobody else can take. Yeah. And Krishna is called a Satvatam Pati. He is the Pati of all living beings. Ultimately, he is the master of all living beings. So he told all the ladies that according to Dharma, a man's body is created for self-realization. A man's body is created for becoming self-realized. And if a man does not engage the body in self-realization, he will be distracted by the form of the woman in this world. But a man's duty is to speak Dharma. That is his duty. Even if a woman is inviting him for doing a wrong thing, adultery, a man should preach to her and enlighten her and educate her. That is man's duty. Just like in Diti and Kashyapa, you see, Kashyapa became weak-minded to fulfill his wife's desire in a twilight time. So they got two sons, dangerous sons. Anybody knows who are they? Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. They had to bear the suffering of having such a dangerous sons. You can see that. So, therefore, it's man's duty to preach. And a man who does not preach the pure knowledge, then he also is a sinner. Not only the woman is a sinner. Both of them become afflicted by sin. So, therefore, anybody, when Gandhi went abroad from India, his parents are worried that he will drink and smoke and get in bad company of opposite sex and he will ruin his life. But Gandhi promised that I will live a life of a man of character. Although he was single, he lived very, very strictly. He was already a very strict personality in his behavior. In his 5th standard, he had seen Ramayana. He saw Lord Ramachandra take a vow of Ekapatni Vrata, correct, no? Accepting only one wife and leading a pure life. So he cried tears seeing that drama and he said, I want to emulate the model of Lord Rama and lead a pure life. So he took a vow that I will lead a pure life. Therefore, he could lead purely when he went to London for doing barrister. At that time, he couldn't get anything to eat. You know what he was eating? Every day he would take the potato and fry it in the red hot coal. And he would take these groundnuts and fry it also. So groundnuts and potatoes for months together he was taking. Because outside everywhere there was meat. He wouldn't touch it at all. So he ate like that, sattvic ahar he ate. He'd never contracted any bad habit, smoking, drinking. He came back safely. He eventually became father of the nation in India. So Prabhupada glorifies Gandhi for his character in one place, and Prabhupada glorifies certain personalities further. So one can take good lesson from this. You all have come from India to America. It's not very easy for anyone to come for doing MS, or even if you came for a profession, company sent you, you must have been meritorious in your job. Otherwise, they would not have sent you here to a first world country like this. So materially speaking, you are getting adequate wealth, adequate facilities, luxuries, comforts, and a bright future, materially speaking. At the same time, one has to spiritually be very safe also. Kuntimanan is saying, Janmaishwarya Shutashivir Yadamana Apuma. If one doesn't become a sincere and serious devotee of the Lord, when one gets bodily beauty or wealth or fame or high birth and all these things, they can victimize a person. They can actually make a person become proud and ignorant and forgetful of the Lord. And then such a person becomes misled and he can't call out the holy names of the Lord very fervently. And Kuntimanani says that. At the same time, even if you are very wealthy, like Ambarish Maharaj was king of the whole world, still he was chanting the holy name purely because he never became proud. There is one verse which says that Griheshu Dareshu Suteshu Bandhushu Dipottamasyandanavaji Vastushu Akshaya Ratnambaranambaradishu Anantakosheshu Akarot Asanmatim. You know what he says? Ambarish Maharaj had a huge palace. He was a king of the world. And he had many wives, many children. He had costly garments. He wore a lot of jewelry in his body and, helmet and mukut and kundal and all that. He was very gorgeously decorated every day. And when he would come to the court, they would play a band. Ambarish Maharaj, padar rahe hain, dhan, dhan, dhan. You've seen that? So much honor and people shower flowers. It was a royal order. Yeah. And in this way he would come. Ananta Kosheshu means he had an inexhaustible treasury. It is said. With all these things, it is said, he considered all these things like a dead stone. It says, Akarot Asanmati. He was not becoming attached to these things because he was a pure devotee of Krishna. He was constantly remembering the Lord and leading a very pure life. So we can take from that example that material things all around you cannot bind you, provided you are a very serious devotee. So Krishna gives the example in Bhagavad Gita of a drop of water on a lotus leaf. You've seen that? Drop of water on a lotus leaf, there is some wax on the lotus leaf. So it will slip away, correct? Similarly, the material things cannot touch a serious devotee. Raghunath Das Goswami was born in a very affluent family. Rup Sanatan were having one boat full of gold coins. Did they become attached to them? You can see that how they kept aloof. So in this connection, Lord Chaitanya says, Antare Nishta Bahire Vyavahar. These two words he has used. Keep your fixity on Krishna in your heart, which means meditate on Krishna internally, manage your business externally. This is what Lord Chaitanya taught. Externally, you are engineer, doctor, whatever. You do your profession, do your job, but you give your heart to Lord. Every moment you think of Him. So in this way, you can keep aloof, he said. So I was telling you the example of the milk becoming diluted when you add water. But the same milk, if you make it into curd and then subsequently butter, now you put butter in water, will it get diluted? Never. It will never touch. So then how do we convert the milk into butter? What is the process? So our mind, our heart is like also milk, but by sadhana we can make it like butter. And butter is also very dear to one personality who steals it. Who is it? Yeah, Makanchor. So if we can make our heart like butter, then Krishna will come to steal it. And once Krishna steals your heart, you will be mad after him. Generally, you don't give your heart to Krishna. You find your heart stolen. Therefore, people write on their t-shirt, I lost my heart in Vrindavan. Do they say, I gave my heart? Yeah. And it is a fact in this world also. If a boy loves a girl, suddenly you'll find the heart missing. Hey, where is it gone? No? But be stolen away, correct? No? So Krishna will steal your heart when it becomes like butter. That means by sadhana, the heart becomes like butter. You will see all these Maharajas, like today we heard, his known as Devamrit Maharaj. This guy is Vaisheshika Prabhu. Vaisheshika Prabhu looks like from another planet. You know, isn't it? You know, so effulgent, you know, so cheerful, so positive, you know, exuding powerful aura and vibrations. To all the devotees who come near him and hear from him, associate with him. The whole community is so beautifully developed by him, you see. So these great personalities, how did they become what they are? Because they performed steady, consistent sadhana for decades. And they have gradually internalized Krishna consciousness in a very deep manner. And they have become very deeply situated, very firmly situated. Rock solid, we say, no? Like that. At that stage, how do you know that stage? What is that stage? There are 5 A's said, beginning with attraction, then attention, attachment, absorption, and affection, we say. So initially there should be little attraction for Krishna consciousness, so we all have come. And then attention, how will you get attention? Therefore, for getting wholehearted attention in Krishna consciousness, we need a very strong morning sadhana. And when we are alone, many times we don't so much bother about a strict sadhana. Many of our boys in Pune also, who are staying in student centers, morning bell will ring and they have to come running, catching the dhoti, they will come running in the morning time. You know, when the Mangalarati, chanting time starts, 4:30. But when you are in your own room, in America, climate also is very cold sometimes. It's favorable for sleeping longer. You have a good excuse, correct, no? Prabhu, what can I do? It's very cold outside, isn't it? So, but you also have to know that there's a heat pump also available. You can heat your room if you want. So, but if you are alone, it's oftentimes difficult. But if you're staying in a group of devotees, therefore, I heard a story of this. Many sparrows once sat on the ground and ate those grains. But in the ground there was a net put up. They didn't observe it. But after eating, when they wanted to fly, they couldn't because their legs were caught in the net. So all of them thought that we are gone now. Hunter was coming. So one bird, however, had great confidence. He told all of them, "Let us all flap our wings together as much as we can. Maybe the nails which the fellow has put on 4 sides may be removed." So they all waved their wings very, very fastly and together, just like in boat race you have seen, everybody does like this. Not that some people do, others do like this. Everybody should throw in the same direction, you do like this. Then the boat goes very fast. Multiple people putting their hands together. So when they flapped their wings, sure enough, the 4 nails got lifted up out of the ground. Then they flew up in the sky. And the hunter was shouting, hey, 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 was shouting, but they all flew far away. They got one rat to cut the net. Then their life was saved. So how do you think they did it? What is the secret? Yeah? Yeah? Unity. Prabhupada said, united we stand, divided we fall. like a sticks, a bundle of sticks, Prabhupada said, if you put, you can't break it. One stick, you can easily break it. So I was talking to His Grace Kautukarana Prabhu and Devabrata Prabhu. We have been on email touch, writing to one another back and forth. So we had a thought that if there is a facility available, today morning we presented the same to His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu and asked him. So I told him like this, that there are many students in your community. There are more than 100 youths coming here to the temple. You see the database. And some of them have stayed in Pune centers. Anybody has stayed in Pune or Bombay, base or voice? See, already we have almost 10 of them. Yeah, you have experience of that. Correct? No, you have experience of that. So, and eventually, one by one, devotees will get married also. So the premarital stage is a very crucial stage where this is the opportunity for you to strengthen yourself. Because after marriage, you have to carry wife and children also on your shoulder. You have to carry everybody together. Yeah. Because many of the wives, you will find that they follow the husband's path. If husband is materialistic, wife also becomes materialistic oftentimes. If husband is spiritually serious, then she also becomes serious. But some wives are spiritually very advanced. They let the husband be materialistic and they will be very spiritual. There are also people like that. Because they have been guided like that by somebody. But if your wife is going to be from your caste and you didn't marry a devotee girl, she will simply follow your svabhava. If you are materialistic, they will also be materialistic. You will see, the Prabhupada says that wife follows the mood of the husband, he says. So here is a golden opportunity for you. You can, today we told Prabhu that we are thinking some, some 10 devotees or 10 or 12 devotees could come together and stay in a flat very close to this thing, temple here. So then Prabhuji showed all the buildings and said, fill up all these buildings with all the youths. He was telling when he was going back. So he said, when he heard this idea, he said already some of the youths were having a base somewhere, he was telling before. Somewhere else he said. But later on they all graduated and went away to different places. But he said it's a brilliant idea. And he said, in a scale of 1 to 10, you want to know how much I like this idea? He asked us. I said, yes. He said, my take is 12, he said. 12 out of 10. He said, I like the idea 120%, he said. So he was very happy. And I also told him another thing. The primary goal of this center will be that the devotees here will be Sankirtan soldiers. Of course, you will have time to take prasad, take rest, do your studies. At the same time, we are thinking of a twofold plan, that devotees will go for Sankirtan. And Prabhu also said we can get vans which they can take, and they can go to some place and open the behind, and you can put your book table and then bring the van back. Some 2-3 devotees can go together like that. And he was giving one example of St. Louis Temple, where he said the temple was like a small house only, but they had 30 vans, he was selling. And that temple was distributing thousands and thousands of books, he said. So he said that it's not that they had a huge temple. Temple was a small flat, but they did a lot of Sankirtan, he said. So one of the goals of the center is that you all can get his special blessings, and he will inspire you, and you can get inspired by him. And he'll bless you also if you do nice distribution. That's one thing. And I also have a special interest in making this center. See, that center comes here because those who go for book distribution will not only contact and leave the people. And they will note the address, their phone number, and then you will put up some program. So if 10, 12 devotees are staying here, say 2-3 devotees can be spending a lot of time in preaching and cultivating. And others can spend 75-80% of the devotees will go for Sankirtan, they will do. And these 2-3 devotees are supposed to organize the classes and give classes for those who are giving the address and phone numbers, cultivate them, and increase this type of number of devotees, just like all of you are sitting here. We want to increase this number more and more. And Prabhuji said, we can even make 10 or 20 centers around our temple, because many are available on rent, he was selling. These properties are all on rent. You must have seen on rent, it's put up. It's available. Nevertheless, one warning also he gave us, that in America, It's not like India, don't dump 20 boys in one house. He said that. Here they have some very strict policies. I think they fixed the number, I think, correct, at the time of. eh, So you may wonder, in this hall, no, 20 of us can sleep. They will say only 3 or 4, they will say. Yeah. Huh? 5 is the max here, yeah. 5 is the max here, like that. So we have to follow that. Indians are known for austerities. Mm. Yeah. In the railway station also. Yeah, I have seen with my eyes. Once the railway station, the train was 5 hours late. How many of you will be angry if train is 5 hours late? So one farmer and his wife and daughters and sons and grandsons, they were a big family of 10, 20 people. They just put the cloth and they ate their nice dinner and they just slept off and the train came. And then I asked this fellow, see, train is 5 hours late. Are you not angry? He said, you know what he said? He had a big smile and said, see, at least train came back. They didn't say no. So, so yeah, tremendous patience. So I agree that you all have patience, but don't dump too many people. Prabhuji was telling that point. So whatever is allowed, permissible, you can stay. But this is your opportunity. How many of you here are 28 already? 28 or 28 plus? Oh, good number, you see. Now, earlier the boys used to marry by 27 in India. Now it has become 30 or 32 now. Huh? Therefore, how many of you are not yet, how many of you are married already here? Anybody? Oh, there are about few who are married, yeah. Of course, married devotees are already connected to the temple. You are coming. You come closer and you can take part in more services, which is very wonderful. Those of you who are not married, you have this opportunity available. And Kautakarna Prabhu is also looking for one manager who will be like a coordinator of the group. And that coordinator will report to him. And Devabrata Prabhu lives in LA. He lives in Los Angeles here, and he takes his van, goes all over America to distribute books. And especially he goes to universities, many, many universities. So I also would like to go with him sometimes and see how he reaches the books to the hands of the university students. We can do in Stanford also here, and he will help in collecting also. So how many of you in principle think it's a very good idea? You think? Yeah. Well, thank you. So there may be some hitches to make it happen. Uh, because Kautakarna Prabhu already is leading Sankirtan here in this temple and is super busy beyond the nose. So therefore he will need a help from one devotee who can organize. For example, talking to the flat owner and fixing the amount, and then and whoever is ready to come in, then having a form, get the form filled up, and then we already have framed some list of things that the residents would be expected to do, and what facilities they will have and everything. So we were actually planning to discuss about it more tomorrow. Correct, Prabhu? You are thinking of, but I have just put a word to you. But why am I telling you this option? Because coming together and staying together and practicing, there is no greater joy than that. Huh? We all have experience of that. Many of you raised hand, you have experience in India. Because in the Bhagavatam, there is one shloka which says this, Paraspara anukatanam pavanam bhagavat yashaha mitoratir mitastushtir nivrittir mita atmanaha. This verse says, Paraspara anu means devotees should come together and they should discuss Krishna Katha together. And one devotee will think, hey, this devotee is getting up at 3 o'clock. Huh? Look at me, I am getting 5 minutes before 4:30. Huh? And I take a crow bath and come running. Huh? So then he thinks that let me also get up at least at 3:30. He gets inspired. Huh? Similarly, another devotee says, hey, this devotee has distributed 150 Bhagavatam sets. I at least want to distribute 15 sets at least. Huh? So you look at one another and your enthusiasm and energy gets reinforced looking at one another. Like that this verse says. You develop relationship with one another, deep respect for one another, great relish and joy in hearing and chanting together. And honestly tell me, when you are alone, our disciplines get diluted or not? Yeah. For example, daily we may not hear in the morning. But if you are staying together with a group of devotees, at least half an hour, something will go in the ears. Staying with devotees. You know that there is a timing for chanting, there is a time for hearing, and there is a time for Mangalarti, everything. So it will be very, actually it's a discipline, it's a voluntary discipline for your own good. In the long run, you can reap great results if you do this. So, how do we maintain ourselves? Sridhara Swami says in his commentary, if you are a pure devotee, you can live alone and you can associate with yourself, your own mind. You can associate with, because mind has already become purified. 100% pure mind. What is going on in that mind? Beginning with, pratyaksha, paraksha, aparoksha, adokshaja, aprakrita, we say. So the fifth stage, aprakrita, is a pure devotee. Pratyaksha means you see a Vaishnava and get inspired. Pratyaksha, para aksha means then you start hearing from him. Whatever he says, you believe it. Prabhupada says, I accept it. That is paraksha. Aparoksha means not only Prabhupada says, I can also see it. The same reality in the world around me. That is aparoksha. Then adoksha means you start seeing, the three gunas acting in this world. You see the Kala acting, how the Kala is swallowing all the living beings through the form of death. You can see the karmic reactions acting. When you see a dog, you will feel pity. Oh, poor fellow, he has misused his free will. He has, or the tree you find, you see like that. You see everything from Shastra Chaksha point of view, Adokshaja stage. And then Aprakrita stage, your heart becomes the playground of large pastimes. Large qualities, pastimes, everything manifests. So in that pure stage, a devotee can stay alone also. And he can keep on associating with his own mind and he'll never fall down because he's associating with the Lord only, like that. But are we in that stage? Therefore, we have to stay together. Therefore, we need each other's association. You can see when we are in the room or the temple, our chanting is of one quality. In the train, the chanting is another quality. Everybody knows, correct? In the temple, you can finish chanting in 1 hour 45 minutes or 2 hours. The train will take 2.5 hours. Why? Because half an hour for drowsiness, for dozing. Correct? No, it's called chanting, we call it. Correct? Chanting plus dozing is called chants. Correct. So, even if you are grihasthas also, if you stay near the temple in Pune, many of the grihasthas have come very close to the temple. Barsana Dham and other places. When you stay near the temple, then family members go to the temple. Like one boy was asking me, should I take a flat near Hinjawadi or should I take near NVCC? So I told him, see, the choice is yours. But stay in both the places 3 months, I told him, in some rented house and see, and then you decide. Then he stayed in Hinjawadi 3 months. Hinjawadi is IT park, which is 1 hour from the NVCC. Then he stayed 3 months in near NVCC. Finally purchased a house in Barsana. I asked him why. He said, when I was in Hinjawadi IT park, when I would come back from the office, everybody will climb on my head. My wife, my children, my father, mother, they will all want my time because everybody depend on him. When he comes home, because they don't have much familiarity outside. It's all IT engineers all around. They are not devotees. When he took a house near the temple, he said, when I come home, I see my mother, father, they have their network of vanaprasthas. And my wife has her friends. My children have their friends. When I come home, I find the home is empty. Everybody has gone to meet their friends. I also go to temple, he said. And nobody troubles me. He said, everybody has their network. They're all busy looking at the watch. I have Bhakti Prasad to take and I'm going for book distribution. I'm going here, going there. Our home is a real sweet home. He said, we had put a board, home sweet home. Earlier it was not sweet. Now it became sweet now. So, coming closer to Lord means coming closer to bliss, happiness. Krish means to attract. Na means one who bestows. So Krishna means one who bestows bliss upon those who come closer and closer to him. Okay, correct now? Maya means one who attracts also. And punches on the nose. That is Maya. So if you want to grow spiritually, coming closer to temple is a great thing. And also staying together is a great thing. When you are a bachelor, you can stay together like this. In some places, even congregation devotees stay in the same building, many of them, like Goloka Vrindavan near Pune, Barsana, all these places. They help each other. When I go to those places for giving some lecture, I find every house, there is so much of kirtan going on, and staying with devotees is a great joy. It is. That's a real, it's called as Vaishnava Ullas. Vaishnava means the joy that comes from being in the surrounding of devotees. So, the topic is, what is the topic? Yeah? How to be spiritually? How to grow spiritually? In a materialistic society, yeah. So, Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanevas Jana me hoi ye abhilash. Boliye, Tandera Charana Sevi Jana me hoi ye abhilash. Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanevas Jana me hoi ye abhilash. Ichai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilovas Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Korilo Prakash Anand Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pada Majayama Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas Padma Koriyas Nama Sankirtana Kore Narottama Das Hare Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita Nitai Gosai Kori Tarana Vandan Yagavate Vignana Shabishta Pura Nitai Gosai Jar Mohi Taradas Ansavara Pada Renu Mara Panchaka Chandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanevas Jana Vedana me hoi ye abhilash Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Haribo 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 Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Srila Gurudev Pavan Harinam Sankirtan ki. Developers would like to say something. Yes, sir.
Hare Krishna Prabhus.
You can come here, you can see everybody.
Timidandasya Gananjana Shalakoya Chakshudun Minitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swampadantikam.
He initiated a Brahmachari Sangha across the country. 1420 Brahmacharis attend, and Kaustana Prabhu is very intelligent response to many questions, and he asks questions also. That's where I met Kaustana Prabhu. And Devra Prabhu calls the Brahmacharis across the America. He is friends with many Brahmacharis. So this is one very amazing thing. It's not just distributing books, he's also making friendship with other peers across the country. That's how he is the main coordinator for that
So there's a prayer which we sing here at ISV before Guru Puja. It says, Hey Guru Gyanadadina Bandhu Swaranandai Karunakaka Sindhu Vrindavana Sinahit Avatar Prasida Radha Pranaya Pachar. And so in this prayer it says that the Guru is giving knowledge of Krishna, and he's also bestowing his own bliss. And he's teaching the love that Radharani has for Krishna. So with the blessings of Radheshyam Prabhu, I'll try to speak something, and thank you for being that person in my life. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, if you read the section of Sanatana Shiksha, it discusses the importance of sadhu sangha. It says, Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Haya Sadhu Sangha, Krishna Preme Teno Puna Mukhya Anga. But the root of devotional service is the association of devotees. And just to begin devotional service, one actually needs to come in contact with devotees. It says, Mahakripa Teho Nahi. Anyways, I'll tell you the English. It says that without coming in contact, is this out? You can hear it? Okay. So without coming in contact with a great devotee, a Mahat Vina Kripa. So if without coming in contact with a great devotee, without receiving their kripa, one so-called devotional service doesn't actually exist. What to speak of engaging in devotional service? One can't even become free from the wheel of samsara. So what do we have here at ISV? Here at ISV we have the association of a Mahant, a Mahatma, someone who's constantly preaching the glories of Krishna, and simultaneously we have the association of devotees. So not only are we able to associate with the Vaishnavas, but simultaneously we're able to interact with the devotee who has the ability to actually enliven our devotional service. And what does it mean to enliven that devotional service? Brahmananda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. We actually receive the seed of devotional service. And what is that seed of devotional service? That seed of devotional service is the desire to engage in devotion, in service towards Krishna without any material desire. Nothing in it for me. Most people, when they engage in an activity, it's the disposition of a living entity, a conditioned soul. What is in it for me? What's the exchange? What can I get out of this? But when one meets the devotees and when one meets a Vaishnav Guru, one is able to actually engage in service which is completely selfless. And this is actually the only thing that can truly satisfy the heart, is selfless service. So what is this Bhakti Lata Bij? It's this Anya Balasita Sumnyam Jnana Karmani Anavatam Anukalena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhaktirutamam. It is service which is free from any personal motivation. And simultaneously, it is service which has been directed by and authorized by someone who's engaging in that same service. So there's so many things that we can chase out after in this world, but how much of it actually brings us satisfaction? How much of it can you really say it brings you actual satisfaction? Like Prabhu was saying, there's a stick and there's a carrot. Which one sounds nicer? The carrot on the string or the stick behind? Neither of them are nice. Neither of them are nice. So what is the thing that can actually satisfy the heart? The thing that can actually satisfy our heart is selfless service. So if we can find the association of people who are engaging in selfless service, and not only they're engaging in selfless service, but they're making that selfless service accessible to everyone that they're interacting with, then that is a great treasure. And we should never shy away from receiving a great treasure. So there's so many things to do in Silicon Valley. There's so many things to chase after. But why not partake in a revolution? Why not partake in something that's not only going to change your life, but change the life of every person that you interact with, and will change the environment of everywhere that you go? Just imagine the effect that will have. When I first started distributing books, I didn't really know what I was doing. I just had a desire to do it. And all I did was I joined in Seattle. I went to the temple. I was going to school in the college. I went to the temple and I asked the manager of the gift shop, can I have a box of Bhagavad Gitas? And he said, yes. So I gave him all the money that I had, bought a box of Bhagavad Gitas, and I went back to my hometown. I didn't have anything. I didn't have the Association of Devotees. I didn't have a temple, but I wanted to distribute Prabhupada's books. So I went onto the campus, Dodi, Kurta, Tilak, didn't really know what I was doing, and I just started approaching everyone. No one was really interacting with me, so I had some kartals with me, and I brought a blanket, so I was like, all right, I'm going to try a different method. I'm just going to sit down, I'm just going to chant. We'll see what happens. So I sat down and I started chanting, and this Indian woman, she approached me. And at this time, I wasn't really collecting so much. I was lucky if I got like $1 or like $2 or maybe even $5. So I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know how to ask for a donation. I didn't know how to interact with people. But she approached me and she saw me chanting, and we started talking, and I asked if she knew about the Bhagavad Gita, and she said she did. And so I explained it a little bit, and I said, well, would you like to give a donation? She said yes. So she pulled out her wallet and she gave me a $20 bill, which at that time was that was my first big. It's like you see in a business sometimes they'll have like the first dollar made. This would be like for a book distributor getting a $20 donation. That's like, it's a really nice thing. So you can, if I had that $20 bill, it'd be like hanging on my wall, my first 20 on book distribution. But anyway, she gave me that $20 bill, and then she told me, she said, have you ever heard of a place called Mayapur? Now at this time, about a week before this, Ambarish Prabhu had just visited the Seattle temple, and he was promoting the TOVP. So I had just heard about Mayapur. And I'd been learning about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and learning about what Mayapur was. So when I interacted with her, I said, yeah, I have heard of Mayapur. Why? And she said, well, that's where I'm from. And I was shocked. I said, oh, really? And she said, yes, and sometimes I miss home, but today you reminded me of home. So, Prabodhananda Saraswati, he says, yata gora parada vinde videta bhaktim krita punya rasihi tato sarpati rittikaksmat radapadam bhoja sadamba rasihi. That by serving the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one develops the qualification for service in Vrindavan. So that is what this Krishna consciousness movement is doing for people. And what I was just reflecting on this just today, I was just thinking of this interaction that I had with her, that actually that's everyone in the material world. Everyone is actually from Navadvip. Everyone is actually a resident of Vrindavan. Everyone is a resident of the spiritual world. But they miss home. And unless we go out, we do Sankirtan, we chant the holy names of Krishna in public, and we give people an opportunity to read Srila Prabhupada's books, there'll be no way for them to remember. So the more and more we come into each other's association, the more and more we learn to enliven each other and take shelter of the great souls, the more and more we develop the qualification to become empowered to give Krishna consciousness to other people. And when we give Krishna consciousness to other people, it is an expression of love. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita explains that there's never been a servant more dear to me than he who explains the Bhagavad Gita to others. So Krishna is giving us so many things, isn't he? He's giving us prasadam, he's giving us the devotees, he's giving us the holy name, he's giving us the holy dhams, he's giving himself in the arch of Vigraha. He's giving so many things. And why is he giving all of these things? It's out of love. So what can we give to him? He explains the very end of the Bhagavad Gita, he explains what can be given to him. What we can give to him is to tell other people about him and remind them what they're missing. And what they're missing is the spiritual world. What they're missing is Krishna. And what they're missing is the association of devotees. So I humbly request all of you to please take advantage of this opportunity that Prabhu is presenting. In whatever small way that I can do to serve you in this capacity, I am here for you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And I actually come twice in a year. Once during May 5th I came this time, and I'm here till mid-June or so, approximately 40 days or so. Again, I'll be coming in mid-September, I think, and maybe 10 September I'll come, and I'll stay till 10th or 15th October. Approximately 35 to 40 days I'm coming 2 times to US. So I have already marked some places like His Holiness Niranjan Maharaj and His Holiness Ranath Maharaj. They both told me to spend at least half my time in Boston, because there is MIT and Harvard and all those colleges. So I'll be spending half time. Other half time I move around in America. Initial trips I'm going and searching which are the best spots for me to offer my service, and where I have friends and where I can connect. So I found Austin, Texas. I got a person who I have never seen anyone following so perfectly. The kind of system he follows there in Austin, Texas. Of course, he happens to be a Tamil person also, one Satyasar Prabhu. I spent time with him, and there is a very, very great scope for developing there. Similarly, UT Dallas. I was in Dallas also. Lots of devotees in Dallas also. And this place is even known to me before going to those places. San Jose, I have been coming before also here. So I am only planning to selectively connect with 3 to 5 projects in America, where I'll be regularly visiting. Other places will be occasional. But these places, in case if many of you take a lot of interest here, and a center like that, 1, 2, 3 centers come up here, then I have all the reason to come here often. Then I can come, and many of you raised a hand in India itself, either connected to Mumbai, Chowpatty or Pune, you have experience. So how you will run this center coming together is not very difficult for you. And what should be the hearing program in the morning, half an hour, that you all can come together and make a plan also. You are not newly joining first year kids in the engineering college. To be given a Vani syllabus and all that. You are all grown up now. And we can mutually make a plan of hearing in a very, that should be just like in your plate, there is, there is rice, dal, sabji, chapati, sweet, and karela sabji, all those things are there. In the same manner, you need a combination of, different things. Every day, half an hour hearing at least is necessary. And then morning program, and Kautkana Prabhu, me and Devarathu are planning to have a meeting tomorrow. And Kautkana Prabhu is actually local person, so he knows quite well about the surroundings in the temple. He can actually act on advisory capacity, has agreed. Correct, Prabhu? Yeah. So if we get one of you in executional capacity, you are willing, we will be very grateful to you if you do that. Then Kautkanapu and that executing coordinator, we call it overall coordinator, OC. One of you agree? Then whoever is willing, then we will help you with locating the place and accommodation and framing the policies. Actually, framing policies can be mutually done. We are making certain points, and you can add to that because you know when you're staying what concerns you have and everything can be done. Because you are all not, you are not like in your 16 or 17. Now you all have spent many years in Krishna consciousness. So basically, we want to make your stay very enjoyable, spiritually relishable for you, a memorable experience, and in each other's company, you'll get to know each other very closely. So anyone here would like to say a few words that yes, you would like to join such a center if it is touching the temple, very close to temple. We wanted to know. And anybody says that you don't mind taking that coordinatorship, overall coordinatorship. Anybody? So then you'll get Haribol from everybody. Anybody? So if you wish to join such a center, you can raise the hand also. And if you'd like to take the overall coordinatorship, you can raise the hand also, okay? Either. Anybody. And you can say a few words. Of course, some of you may be staying in some place and you may have some, what do you call it, lease may be there for some period of time. But you have a desire to come here and you can get a swap. Swap, you know swap, no? Swap, yeah. Somebody else, you catch one of your colleagues and put him there and you come here. That is also possible. That is called swap, yeah. That is also possible. So how many of you think it's quite possible? You can think about it.
No, bro. Thank you so much for coming, bro. We are really grateful to have you, bro. Because of your association, we can definitely think of starting this project. And I would like to be part of this such a center where we have a regulated program, because I face challenge myself, in living a regulated life. So I work for Cisco. It's 7 miles, but we work from home as of now. Yeah. 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 No, that's right. Yeah. So
Second number, anybody else? No, there's one more hand up. Please wait. You're saying introduce yourself.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for the lecture. It was very wonderful and inspiring. So I actually live alone, and I know it's like really difficult for me to follow these austere principles. But when I come here and associate with devotees, it kind of becomes easier. And as you said, wake up at 3 and 3:30. That I kind of happens here. So we kind of, so I'm Naveen Prabhu. I came to Krishna consciousness 2 years back during COVID and been practicing since then. I stay a little bit far from here, so it's difficult for me to associate with devotees. But on weekends, I come close to devotees and stay with them here. I work in Sacramento. Yes, so. Sorry, Prabhu. So I stay in Sacramento, but I come here on weekends. It takes like 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours. Yes.
If your job is in Sacramento, in case we make a facility like this,
Since it's work from home, I think should be
work
fine.
from home.
Yeah.
I heard in America many companies are agreeable to work from home for years together. Is it true?
I mean, now it's opening up. Few companies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it opens up, they will call you to the company daily, or they will allow you to continue.
So I
work
have
from-
secondary plan also to move a job here.
Wonderful. That's the best thing. So actually, in San Jose, moving from one job to another is very easy also, and you have experience also.
Yes.
You are from which part of India?
Hyderabad, southern part.
Okay, very nice. Your good name?
Naveen.
Naveen. Who was your mentor, counselor, anybody here?
So I stay in close contact with Katha Prabhu and Antariksha Prabhu.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Who is Antariksha Prabhu? Is here? Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. She Antariksha Prabhu. Antya Prakash Prabhu. Okay. So we got a second member. Haribo. Okay. Thank you very much. And anybody else? Third member? Give the mic. Yes, please.
Hi Krishna. My name is Dan. I was introduced to Bhakti Yoga about a year ago from Kartuk and Akshay. They met them on a family trip and handed me a Bhagavad Gita, and Ever since then, I was joining the Bhakti on Monday and Thursday calls. So because of where I'm at, also in Sacramento, we don't have a lovely temple nearby, so it's just kind of mostly doing those calls. But as I listen and learn and absorb more, just something inside me just really resonates and is calling me to this path. And I'm trying to currently pull out of the materialism of the world more and really try to dive deep in this bhakti yoga. I had the benefit on the Sangha retreat. Sadhu Sangha. Thank you. Thank you. I had the benefit of being with a guru, Ashraya. Yes, and we had the Naveen and I traveled, and we had his company as well. And just through this weekend was very transformative, and it's making me really take a look at my life and really want to focus more on spirituality and not so much just feeding the next materialism high.
And you are born and brought up here in the West? You are born and brought up here in San Jose?
No, I was born in Illinois, and I've been in Sacramento for maybe the last 15 years.
Okay. Your parents are from India or your parents are from America?
All America.
Oh, you picked up very well.
Yeah,
Amazing. Give him an applause.
Hare Krishna.
You must have done a lot in your previous life.
That's what I keep trying to tell myself. So I must have cultivated some kind of good karma, fortune to be in this.
You could catch it
today.
very quickly.
What was that?
You could catch it very quickly.
Catch it very quickly.
Yeah. Very nice. Your good name?
I'm sorry?
Good name?
Oh, Dan.
How do you spell it?
Dan.
Dan.
Yes.
Dan. So Dan will be our third member. Haribo.
Haribo. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Here. Please give the mic here. Introduce
Krishna,
yourself, Prabhu. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, my name is Prahlad.
Prahlad. My Lord. Your parents gave you the name.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I'm just so happy that I have that name, because earlier I used to tell my parents, why did you name me, gave me such an ancient name, and each and everyone, people around me, you have such a difficult name, So, but now since I came to Bhakti, I'm just so proud of my name. I mean, I don't even have 0.1% of Prahlad Maharaj, but still, I at least have name.
Every time people call you, your mind becomes purified. Remembering Prahlad.
Yeah, I think that was the purpose of. I mean, even my brother, my cousins, they all have names by starting PRA, pro, right? Like Praveen, Praveen. Then one has Prakash and all, and the only one who was named Prahlad was me. I'm from Pune, Prabhu. I saw you there multiple times, and I didn't know about you much about you. Madhav Charan Das is my Shiksha Guru, and I was like, when I came here, I heard your lectures on YouTube. I was like, I missed such an opportunity to meet you there, and I'm blessed today that you came to meet me here. I'm Kautukarna Prabhu's roommate, and his association has been really great for me. Last 4 months I've been staying with him, and at least I have grown by a centimeter, I would say, in bhakti. I have different plans in life. I'm not sure that if I can stay here stay with at the center for longer, but I definitely plan to join for now, and it's been amazing. I've had like amazing benefits out of bhakti. I was too ill. As soon as I came to bhakti, I started healing, and it's been unbelievable journey. It's last 2 years, I struggled too much in my career, and just I came to bhakti, and just it was a 180-degree shift. The way you were saying, right? You you struggle a lot, you put a lot of efforts, but you still don't get the result. That was the case with me. And I was like, what's exactly happening? And I was searching for solutions all over the world, and finally I found it. So yeah, at least temporarily, I'm ready to join.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna,
Hari
Prabhu.
Bol. Yeah. Anybody else? There is one MIT student here. You all know Massachusetts Institute of Technology is Satwat Prabhu. This Satwat Prabhu, he was the one who used to help us putting the posters in MIT in Boston. When he was there for undergrad. So undergrad, he did his first year in IIT Bombay, and he was a very meritorious student. Then MIT invited him, come and join us. Then he joined second, third, and fourth year, right? Satwat. Correct. Correct. Very good. So, he's very, very intelligent boy. Where are you staying, Sadhu? You just now arrived here, I think, to San Jose. You were in another place before, no?
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I have been in San Jose since November actually. I went to Boston for 2 weeks, like for my graduate ceremony and for the camp. Yeah, I am staying in North San Jose. Like I already have a 1B apartment. So and the lease is still January, and I want to stay close to office. Like it's good to have that go to office easily. So I may be able to join like after January, but for now I don't want to shift.
And in the weekends when you come, we can come and meet the devotees and you can observe the things here.
Yeah, that sounds fine. Okay.
Thank you. Anybody else? And also you all can spread a word around to your friends and others also. Yes. Yes, Prabhu. Karvind.
I like to be one of the overall coordinator for the management side. I can be helping.
Wonderful. Haribol. That's a wonderful service. Actually, Mukarand was a very senior devotee from NIT Warangal. In his early days, Sundarshan Prabhu used to go there in those days, right? And also, even there he was leading, he was overall coordinator, very good manager and very kind and compassionate manager, very famous devotee. When he had to leave India and come abroad, many devotees were crying, they were missing him very much there. But now he's coming and he became a wonderful devotee after connecting to San Jose here. So he's willing to be a coordinator for especially organizing the flat and, arranging, this requires actually a grahastha devotee taking is even more very wonderful. In Pune, we call them as administrators, we call it, project administrators in Pune we call, because the project requires little maintenance related attention. Like we have the electricity bill to be paid, we have the water to be seen, and we also have the flat to be booked. Sometimes the boys want to move out after some time, and they have to go back to India or something, then we look for new boys. So there is some amount of administrative work is there, for which a person need not live inside. He can actually have his family in San Jose and he can still do that. So if you get one inside person to take care of the things like morning program, coming together and all those things, and for administrative things he can put a word to Prabhuji and Prabhuji will help. Correct, Prabhu? Can do like that. Yeah, it will be very good help. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you. And it will be good. Yeah, at least one more is there, so at least we can
One
say.
person will be inside person. One person will be you. You both of you can do that. Who is that? Yeah, give the mic to him. He can introduce himself, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. My name is Achyuta Chaitanya Das. And I can help Mukharvind Prabhu with whatever.
He is Achyuta Chaitanya Prabhu. You were telling about it. You report to Prabhuji, he said. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, very kind of you. Haribol. So Krishna is sending very good manpower. Very good. Yes, Prabhu. Anybody else? So, how many of you? Yeah. So you would like to say something? Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is Anand Kishore Das.
What's your full name? Saranga?
Anand Kishore Das.
Ananya Kishore Prabhu?
Anand
Kishore Prabhu, yes. Tell me about yourself.
I can help Mukharvind Prabhu and Achyuta Chaitanya Prabhu.
That's very good.
I can.
And you tell about yourself a little bit? You tell about you.
So I started by hearing your lectures only back in 2009. Yeah, and Kanai Thakur Prabhu and Pankaj Gop Prabhu.
Who?
Kanai Thakur Prabhu, Pankaj Gopal.
Correct.
Yeah.
Pankaj Prabhu was there also.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm married right now. So
You live nearby?
uh, it's half an hour.
Also, what I feel in this community, there are many youngsters who are actually married. Just as we are making a plan for the bachelors to stay together, the young couple group can be made. It can be a virtual group where we can, just like we have WhatsApp group kind of thing. And many of them are young and they are full of energy and they're very eager to work in a coordinated way. If we can do that coordination separately, I will come up with a plan for that. So that they may not stay here together, they may be spread out. But if they work in coordination with each other, and that, like in Pune, we have a group called the Sanjeevani, one group we have. Why I suggested the name Sanjeevani, because Sanjeevani was a jadi butti used to wake up the sleeping person. Similarly, so we made a group of preachers in Pune. Now we have 55 preachers in that who have registered. Yeah. Prabhat is here. Yeah. Correct. I put Rasamrita Gaur Prabhu and his wife at the Anupam Gopika Mataji. So ever since we made that group, many people are coming forward and we evaluate them and then give them, and because many of them want to get some direction. Many of the Grihastha couples, they are willing to serve, provided they get some guidance, some direction. You just tell them you do this, they will do it like that. Here also we can do that. Besides this place for living of the unmarried boys, we can also have married people. If we do, they will be very grateful. And the services should be given in such a manner that it will not be a threat for them. It will be like as much as they can take, they can take. Just like in buffet system, you keep whatever you want to pick up. That kind of facility we should create, so that they know that these are the services available and these are the contact points and these are the days timings they can do. So this group we can make a Grihastha group here, I think. We will make a similar plan. Eventually we will do that. Thank you. Hari Bol. Yeah. Would you like to say something? Oh, many. Yes. Yeah. Now you got a job here? Yeah.
I got married and I moved here.
Achha.
Yeah, but I would love to see something like that happening here, and there are many devotees here, so. Yes.
So you are all doing Bhakti Vriksha, I think, not that?
Yes, bro. Like even all the bachelors were coming at our place, and we had
correct. Just opposite temple, I think.
Yes.
I had come there also. I think.
Yes, bro.
Roshan was there.
Yeah, Roshan was there, and we had a program in Amazon too for years. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, certainly it's a very good idea to make a group of young couple grihasthas with all of you men who already have experience in the past. You will do that surely.
Yes, bro.
Thank you.
Yes, please. Thank you so much,
Tell
bro.
me your name?
Vinay.
Vinay, Prabhu.
Yes, bro. Thank you so much for coming here, Prabhu,
Thank
and
you.
your association.
If you encourage me, I will come more and more.
Hari Bol.
And you will encourage me by taking up responsibility.
So that is the only hidden agenda, that we want to make this as your one of the center.
Actually, I will freeze this year and coming year, and after that I will put my full energy. That's my plan. And Devarat Prabhu is very intelligent also. He gives many ideas also. Actually, Devarat Prabhu is in America, but he will be going to India, to places where foreigners come, like Haridwar and Varanasi, Rishikesh. So he'll be going I am coming 1 month from India, he will go 1 month there. He will do so much. Actually, he has developed deep bonds with many of our voice centers in India. He has personally traveled, given lectures there. Antadev Prabhu, Revat Prabhu, Achyuta Mohan, they all know him very closely now. In fact, even in my American responsibilities, many questions I am asking him and learning from him, because America is a new place for me. I am like a toddler here. I am very new to this place, but he gives a lot of ideas about different temples. In fact, Dallas, San Diego and all, he only connected me to go to those temples. Now I am very familiar with them. This time when I went, I was surprised. Many devotees are there who have been trained before, but little connection to give them, they will do so much. Like Sri Mahaprabhu is here. I met you last time also, I think, correct? You are nowadays here settled. Wonderful. He's a very senior man. When we make the Grihastha group, we can include him also. He will do so much.
He has taken our Arabic Sankirtan here. Arabic books. He like yeah. He's leading already that group.
They are in Urdu, huh?
In Arabic book. Arabic book.
Arabic language, huh? Is it, huh? Amazing. How do you reach the books in Arabic? You have to speak in their language? Further, huh?
So there are centers. We've reached out to various cultural communities in Arabic language. There are multiple nationalities. So
through that you reach.
Yeah, generally, when people say Arabic, they think of Saudi Arabia, but that's actually not the truth. Arabic language is spoken in many countries, like about 27 countries. Okay. So we reach out to cultural communities of each and every. Like for example, Ethiopian group or Moroccan group, or there are restaurants, there are cultural centers, there are schools and things like that. So so we reach out to those people, and that's how we distribute books.
Oh, right. Urdu is different, isn't it?
So Urdu is mostly Indian subcontinent.
Indian.
Yeah, and those are the books. The script is the same. Right. It's the same script, that is Persian as well as Urdu as well as Arabic. But those are different languages.
Words may be different.
No, the words. It's like, so Marathi and Hindi both are written in
like
same,
that, like that.
but it's different. So it's the lipi is same, but the
good service. Very good, wonderful. Oh, okay, very nice, wonderful, very nice, very good. Online also. Where is it going on? Achha, it's there. Okay. They would like to say something. Anybody from online? Vedant Prabhu, you can speak. How will we hear? Give the mic to Vedant Prabhu here.
Hare Krishna project. Can you all hear me?
You can make it a little more louder. Volume can be increased. A mic can be kept there.
Can you speak up again?
Yeah. Hare Krishna, bro.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Can you all hear me?
Now we can hear you, yeah.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Broji, for your class. Actually, I couldn't come to today. I got COVID, so I was thinking to come and attend program there. But I wish to stay in center with all devotees. It's a great plan, and I'm very happy to be a part of it.
Haribo!
Also, with that,
is it Vedant Suram?
Yes, Broji.
Okay. I know him. Very good.
Yeah.
Got a job here. Recently he has come here. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. Also, whatever way possible, I can help in administrative services.
See, Vedant Suram, when I asked you about this overall coordinator service, at that time you were alone. You were little wondering with the new job whether you can do, but now you are getting a lot of help. You have Mukharavindra Prabhu, and along with that he has another 2-3 other devotees also, even Chaitanya Prabhu, very senior devotee. So they are all there and they will share and help you. So you may have to mostly see the inside the center things, which will be pretty easy for you.
Yes, Broji. That I feel that I can do. Thank you, Broji.
And you will be reporting to Kautakarna Prabhu, and then other seniors will also help. So in this way, running the center wouldn't be a problem. And as we make more and more centers, eventually over a period of time, we'll make one coordinator for each. We'll make. Thank you, Haribo. We got coordinator also. We got now. Very wonderful. And also, those of you sitting here, for some reason or other, you are unable to. In case you are unable to join this center, some of them are married and some of them are not. But you may be stuck in your contract or something. You are unable to come. But my request to you, I heard that in this community there are more than 100 youths here. If you have any friends, how many of you have friends who are not here? You have some friends in this community, you can inform them about this, right? Yes. So you all can inform and put them in touch with Kautakarna Prabhu and Vedant Prabhu, and then maybe some of them will join also. I think this place is for 5 people here, this one? 4 already here. Now already got 4, I think now. You can get 5 also. Okay. Correct, yeah. So we can start with the first batch, and then tomorrow we will discuss all nitty-gritties, details we'll discuss. And then gradually, one by one. Yeah? Vedantpur, tomorrow we are having a meeting. You can come on Zoom tomorrow?
Yes, Raj, I can join on.
Yeah. So our Kautukana will inform you, okay?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Haribol.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
It's very late, you all should take rest. They took dinner prasad already? Not yet. Yes, but please.
For giving his and at least allowing to have a program here. So thank you, Prabhat Prabhu. Haribol. And some of you who might have met Radheshyam Prabhu for the first time, if you want to hear more of his classes, you can go to YouTube and there is Radheshyam Das devotional videos. So for me, it's a everyday morning duty to hear 30 minutes Radheshyam Prabhu's class. That's how I'm inspired from him. So if you want to also, you can just go to that YouTube channel. Other thing is, some of you might not have taken prasadam in the temple. So Nitish Prabhu has specially made some prasadam. So please feel free to take. We brought it. So if in case you have missed the prasadam, please take. Yeah, that's it. And Bhakti Sangha, we will have regular programs. If in case you are meeting Kautukarna Prabhu also for the first time, please you can give your email ID and phone number. So whenever there is next session, it will be easier for us to connect to you and invite you for the program. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
You can have database of all people. Even if they are not the inside member, they may be happy to come. They're all students.
Hare Krishna. So I would like to thank His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu for giving us time. He has a very, 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 very busy schedule, but still he landed this today at 11 a.m. and he immediately went to the temple. He had straight back-to-back programs, but still he made time for us. So let's thank Prabhu with Hari Bols. ISV style. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Jai!
We can have one group picture too. Can I have in that side? We can all. No.
Yeah, there's a light.
Yeah. Maybe that side. That side one of the.
Yeah, someone can come this side.